Hi guys, a lot of you are applying to university now. As the CEO of Global Admissions, we have helped thousands of students apply to universities abroad. Here are the 9 things I wish I knew when I was applying to university. Number 1, where you study is so important. I really didn't appreciate how important it was where you study. There are so many different options and different places that you can study. It's really important to make the best decision because where you study is going to be where you're going to be living, the environment you're going to be for the next 4 years. It's going to be the people that you're surrounded by. It's going to have a huge influence on your life. So it's really, really important to put in a lot of time and effort to make a really good decision. That means starting really early and trying to prepare and plan for it really early. The second thing that I see now is that investing in your education is the biggest thing that you can do, the best investment that you can make. Because actually, there is so much money in the world and you can make so much money. But actually, what you don't have is time. And time is limited, and you can basically improve yourself so much by having a good education and by investing in education. And by doing it from a young age, it can massively improve and increase your earning potential, and it can change the whole course of your life. So it's really important. The best investment you can make is in yourself, and then investing in yourself first before you make any other investments. It's such a great investment. The third thing that I wish I knew is basically the university system is like a league table in football, for example. There are some top universities and they basically have a ranking, and it is really, really valuable to go to the top university, the #1 ranked university, because you're going to be surrounded by all of the smartest people and all of the top people. And a big part of going to university is the people that you're surrounded by, because that is a big part of your learning comes from those people. So it's really, really valuable and really helpful if you can get into a top university. In order to do that, you need to start from a young age and you need to really prepare for it. If you can't get into a top university in your own country, it's actually a lot easier to get into a top university in other countries around the world. And it's also a lot easier to get into a top university for masters than it is for bachelors. It's really valuable to do that. And I really recommend doing that because you can just have an amazing experience being surrounded by these people. So the fourth thing is, don't rely on the education system to give you an education. What I mean by this is it's actually up to you to design your own education system. It's up to you to learn and become who you want to be. So it's really important from university and for the rest of your life, it's just to think about how you're going to educate yourself, how you're going to improve yourself. And you don't have to do it from in a classroom. You can do it by yourself. You can be surrounded by, you can learn anything you want. The internet just makes learning possible anywhere that you want. You can also meet anyone you want. You can reach out to people. You can find mentors. There's so many things you can learn, and it's up to you. University isn't going to really give you everything you need. It's up to you to be hungry and to get that education that you need. The fifth thing I wish I knew is actually not that smart to follow the crowd. It's really helpful to think for yourself. So many people are doing things and going to a certain university because their friends are doing it or because they see this is the path to go. But actually, it's really important to try and think for yourself. So, for example, many people are choosing to study in their home country as the default option because they think that's what everyone does. But actually, you can check out the whole world. There's so many options and places for you to study. And actually, the opportunities can be a lot bigger in those countries and the cost can be a lot less. For example, did you know there's 55 universities around the world that have no tuition fee, including a lot of the universities in Germany and a lot of the universities in Norway. So you can basically have a free education in these places. You can also go and study in some of these really fast developing countries that are moving very fast, and you can get a really amazing education in those countries. So it can be really valuable to do that. And as an international student, you can have a lot of advantages by studying abroad. So it's really definitely something to consider seriously. Another thing that I wish I knew that I didn't realize is that you can choose one university and then you can actually study one semester in any university around the world. You can just go there and study there as part of your degree. Many universities actually have an exchange program that you can choose. So they may have 100 or 200 partners that you can go and study there for one semester. But even if your university doesn't have an exchange program, you can still arrange it yourself. You can tell your university, I'm going to this place, and you can apply by yourself and you can arrange it all by yourself. So if you're studying in UK or in US or in Spain, for example, for 3 or 4 year bachelor program, you can choose to study one semester in Japan, or you can choose to study one semester in any country you want, and then you could choose another semester in another country. So it's up to you, and there's so many options of places you can study. Another thing that I wish I knew is you actually don't need to go to university. Many people think that the default option is you have to go to university to get a good career and get a good job. But it's not true at all. Many really successful people didn't go to university. And actually, you can have an advantage by not going to university because you can start working earlier. you don't have to pay anything. You can get income and then you can do anything you like. You can even choose to go to university later if you want. You can actually start working and then do a degree online in your spare time. There's actually so many options. You could probably earn a lot more and get started in your career earlier. So you can actually, so there are other options. You don't have to go to university. I would really consider, I think it's really important that everyone considers actually not going to university and looking at other options that they can do. It basically can seem very overwhelming because there's so many universities that you can choose, and it can seem hard to make the right decision. So the other thing that I wish I knew is that there are hundreds or thousands of agencies or study abroad consultancies around the world that can give free advice to students. And you can actually arrange to speak to 10 or 20 or 5 or whatever you want of these, and you can have a free call with them. And they will give you advice about where you can study, which universities you're likely to get into, and what, with your grades, and what they think is the best option for you. And our company, Global Admissions, we provide this free service. So if you want to have some free advice about where you want to study, it's definitely worth checking out. We can give you some free help. We can look at your profile and we can give you some tips. And I'd really suggest doing that as early as possible before you start applying, so you can help prepare and think about it as early as possible. It's definitely not a good idea to leave it to the last minute. So here are some of the tips I have and things that I wish I knew about studying abroad. Hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks very much. Cheers.